4, 3, 2, 1.
What is the good word, everybody? This is your man's the one, and this is the Dukes of Football. What's going on, everybody? Nice to see everybody made it back on this absolutely beautiful Wednesday evening here in the city of Indianapolis. We are in our transition mode. It's our weather going from maybe cold hot to damn cold. Man, it's going to be crazy. It was cold last night. I think we had frost. I almost had to scrape my window. Almost. You know what I mean? We got the defrost button. So, but there's an awesome clear night, nice moon in the sky, and a great night to talk about some football. Thank you guys for joining me this evening. All those, the ones who can. Um, should be a fun night. Hopefully, I got a special guest lined up. Hopefully, we'll be able to get him in here when he joins us here in a little bit. But yeah, this is what is this? This is the Dukes of Football, episode 23, NFL, NCAA week 8 and 9 of the 2021-22 season. Last week was a pretty good weekend of some football, man. I mean, I can say that my teams all had a good week. Michigan did not. No, Michigan won. They took care of business. Pittsburgh did not lose. You could say they didn't win either, but they didn't play. So can't have anything with that. Did have some conversation. I heard some video I posted on the page about an interview. Question Mike Thomas got asked in a press conference, so that was a chuckle. So it was pretty much the biggest news coming out of Pittsburgh, other than the Aaron Rodgers thing circling. You know, if he continues to be unhappy in Green Bay, I know Pittsburgh is a destination that keeps popping up with our quarterback woes. Maybe I can ask my guest about that when he graces our presence. You like my Rogue Energy Shake Up drink? You say, what is that in the bottom of your drink? That is blueberries. I like lemonade. I like blueberries in my lemonade. And this is a cool shake up glass that I got from Rogue Energy, rogueenergy.com. If you go over to the website, you hit that promo code, we got something for you. So that was the first one. All right. So you guys didn't come here to see me chibber chabber about my drink of choice in this awesome Rogue Energy cup that I got. I do use it often when I do smoothies. I like to do smoothies. They're smooth. But anyway, funny screen pop up, but it's gone. But anyway, you guys didn't tune in to hear me talk about my my drink of choice for the evening. I have not yet shared my backup drink, but anyway. So I'm here to talk about a little football. So let's go ahead and jump in it. I'm trying to dilly-dally a little bit, waiting on my guest. Maybe I'll send him a quick message while I am chatting about some things. What am I chatting about? Let's talk about what we got coming up this week here at the network. Pretty much nothing, man. We got our normal shows of entertainment that we normally bring for you guys. Steven took the week off last weekend from Kicking It with Steven, but I'm sure he'll be coming back soon. You know, the wrestling action never stops. It's pretty much a year-round thing, and he knows this stuff. So I'm pretty sure that you check that guy, check Steven out with Super Kicking It with Steven on Saturdays. And then, you know, you got Tommy Boy with Checkers and Wreckers on Sunday. It's a slow season, but there's always some racing things going on. You switch over to our YouTube channel or get onto Facebook on the Checkers and Wreckers group page. You can see a lot of the iRacing things that he does over there with the commentating the iRacing. If you haven't seen those things, check them out, man. They're pretty cool to watch. I have not yet raced. I know Tommy and Dan both do. I have not done it because I can't fit in the machine. And, I can really laugh at the black guy driving. But anyway, so, yep. And then on Tuesdays at the 11:30 noon hour, your lunchtime hour, you want to get that morning inspiration, that positive message. Check out Monica over with Quantum Inspirations. She deals with a lot of the how do you deal with the stress? How do you deal with the mental pressures that you get from the athletic side of things, and tries to tie it into real life? Check her out. She's really good. She's really positive, and she's pleasant on the eyes. So it'd be easier to listen to all the good things that she has to say. And then, Dan throws out those nice interviews with all the bare knuckle fighters for the Combat Zone. He's got to be aware of those when he drops those. Normally puts them out on YouTube. So if you subscribe to that YouTube channel, you'll get all those notifications when the shows pop up. And then obviously on Sunday to finish out the week or to start your week, you got the big man in the middle, Big Storm, and myself doing the state of basketball. NBA season just started, so we're getting in it pretty good. We had a really good show on Sunday, so make sure you stay tuned for those shows as well. So I am. Let's see. I'm sorry. I am sending him a message now. So we sit here. All right. And so, yeah, that's what we got for shows. So I am going to get ready to talk about the college. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. I think I have got him. Be here shortly. So we're going to jump into the MyBookie Man Cave, MyBookie NCAA Man Cave chatter. So last week in the NCAA, you're good. Oops, I spelled your wrong. I know you guys are like, what is he doing? But this is to let you know that it is truly live and not a syndicated something word something dark side. So last week, I guess I'll start off with the team behind me. Looked pretty darn good last week. I know it wasn't a normal hard Big Ten game, but Northwestern is always going to give you one of those quality games. It's a good barometer of where you're going with your season, with your team, because they play hard. I mean, he might not always, Pat Fitzgerald might not always get the most quality and most talented, most 5-4-star athletes, but he gets athletes that fit well in his program, and they always seem to do well. If I'm not mistaken, they won the Big Ten last year, maybe just their division, but I thought they did. But, the COVID season, it kind of changes a whole lot of stuff. So, but the end result is Northwestern tends to put together, teams that play hard. So it's not difficult in knowing that you're going to go up there and get a good quality game, and you're going to get good, and you're going to get a good balance and a good gauge of where you're at. It's going to get really good this week. Traveling to East Lansing to deal with little brother Sparty, that school up the road. It's going to be another difficult challenge and a much better challenge. It's another top 10 school, number 8, if I'm not mistaken. We'll actually get into that a little bit later on. I think my guest, when he pops on, I think he's got a pick for that. So that's going to be a really good game in the Big Ten, but that's not the only major game in the Big Ten coming up this week. You got Ohio State and Penn State are playing this week. That's a big game. I know Penn State lost last week again Well, I mean, I watched that game. I watched like the whole second half of the third and the fourth and like all 9 overtimes. I mean, it was crazy. You know what I mean? I never seen anything like it. Matter of fact, let me make a note here to ask him about NCAA overtime rule. I have to ask him about that because I watched that 9 hour. I mean, that not 9 hour. I watched that 9 inning game, and I was like, I'm excited because it's kind of good football because you don't see Illinois good that much anymore every now and then. But that was good. That was a good game. But hold on, looks like we got our special guest coming in with us. Let's go ahead and bring him on. NZs. That's terrible. Hey, JC, what's going on, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, man, hanging on like a loose hubcap on the freeway.
Oh, that's good.
You always got that one that just hangs on and just wobbles.
Yes, sir. Are you a Michigan State fan? Michigan fan?
Oh, my God. That does not have a state, a green, or anything.
I'm a Boise State fan. I can't talk too much shit.
You're in Philly.
Yeah.
And you're a Boise State fan, and you are a Minnesota everything fan.
Yes, sir.
Well, I thought I was mixed up being in Indiana, being in Pittsburgh, and a Michigan fan.
I didn't really watch college football until like 4 or 5 years ago, but I'd watch highlights of running backs because my favorite player that I fell in love with Minnesota was Adrian Peterson. Nah. So I kind of looked around college and was like, then I found Doug Martin. He came from Boise. Then J.J., and then I just was like, you know what? I'm going to be a Boise State fan.
See, J.J., I like him. He was a good back. Was a good back.
Now he's playing game. He's online gaming now.
Yeah, online gaming is hot, bro. You know what I'm saying? My son is getting his master's degree in online gaming, so I can't really
can't talk too much.
Can't really say much. Just stop playing those games. You're not going to go anywhere. Yeah, Dad. Sure, buddy.
Hey, Ninja, you never know. You can make it big.
Yeah, never know. I mean, what was that? What did he win? Like $4 million playing Fortnite?
A lot more than me. That's all I know.
A lot more than me. I always shoot up or down. I can never walk. I'm still a one-person guy. I'm damn near 50. You know what I'm saying? I'm a one visual. I can't do the moving around thing.
Whatever gets it done.
Whatever gets it done. So, bro, we came in and I was talking about Penn State. I was jumping into a little college, talking about Penn State and the Ohio State game this week. I know Penn State had lost last week to the 9 overtime game with Illinois. You know what I mean? It was, you get your little opportunities, offense, defense. And then after the second one, they go into 2-point conversion tries. And then that goes into the game is over with. So they had 9 overtimes, so 7 2-point conversion overtimes. How do you feel about the overtime rule in NCAA?
Honestly, it's like the same rule as like NFL. It was like you had sudden death, and it would just keep going until the last person scored. But now it's like you're giving too many opportunities, and then people stop watching.
Right.
Like look at NFL games. Whenever you think your team's losing in the fourth quarter and everybody leaves, now there's people that are in college. They might have school the next day or something like that. You're there till 2 a.m. People are gonna start leaving, or people turn off the TV channel. You lose views, you lose money. I think it should go 2 sudden deaths, and then after that, it's over. There should be ties.
Yeah, I got no problem with ties. For 85 years or 185 years in college football, there were ties. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really have an issue with the ties. They don't like the ties because it makes the ridiculous process of picking these 4 teams much more difficult. That's probably why the reason they don't have ties. But I actually liked the ending of that game because it was 2 teams that did not want to lose. But the satisfactory thing about it was Illinois being not so good, Penn State still having that opportunity, that outside chance of making the Final Four, and you just can't get it done against Illinois. So I that's the thing about it. But like I was saying with Penn State, they're out of it. But they are like the most dangerous team in the Big Ten right now because they can ruin everybody's chances because they play Ohio State this week. Then I think they got a off week, and then they have Michigan State and Michigan. So they got all three of them. So they can make everybody's season just terrible.
Well, I think it's the perfect excuse why they should expand the playoffs. How can you have countless colleges, and then you have teams like what I don't understand is also the rankings. You see like Penn State or Iowa. I understand they had upset losses, games they should never lose, but they drop from number 2, number 4 to 20 or unranked. But then you have Alabama, who's number 1 or expected to be number 1 every year, and then they lose a game to Mississippi State, and then all of a sudden they only drop to number 5, and now they're back in the top 4 again.
Well, I say it like this with Alabama. They're good. Just because they lost the game still doesn't mean that there's 4 teams better than them in the country.
that is also true. That is also
that's
true.
with that. And I think that's how that factors in. But when Penn State lost the first time, they went from 4th to 9th. When they lost to Illinois, they went from 9th to 25th or 20th. And that's where you should have went. You know what I'm saying? You lost to an unranked team. There's only got 2 wins against Montana and Ohio, I think is what it is. So
some people don't even know who they are. Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? So there you go. That's the reason why you lose that far of a gap. You know what I'm saying? If Alabama lost, I think, and what helped them out, other schools lost in the top 10 that week too. So you really couldn't have to fall that far when other people were losing as well.
At least they're not Clemson, At least they're somewhat ranked now.
Oh, Clemson. Oh, the mighty have fallen.
Wait till Nick Saban retires. What are they going to do?
I don't know. But people forget that Alabama did suck for like 30 years.
That is true.
After the Bear left, they weren't good. They weren't good at all. Then Nick Saban came back, and then all of a sudden, Alabama is, walking the earth next to Jesus.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. Let's see. What did I have else? Not really too much on college. Most of the college stuff I had today was for picks of games, because I'd rather get to talk to you about this NFL stuff. That's what I'm more excited about it. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's see. We got our Doc Sports NCAA picks of the week brought to you by Doc Sports. Text BW Sports 1 to 29022 for your free $60 in picks. So Dan is supposed to be on here doing picks with me, but Dan is always moving and grooving to make BW Sports 1 bigger. So he sends me his picks, and I tell the world his picks. So that's where we go. So we're going to jump into our first game of the week. We got number 19 SMU at Houston.
See, I'm not the biggest college fan, but I'll tell you one thing. Houston always causes problems when no one expects it. You could be sitting there any day, like Ed Oliver when he played there. No one talks about Houston, but out of nowhere, they'll win or they'll lose by like 7 points. I don't know about this one. I think there might be an upset in this game.
Might be an upset there. So you're looking at Houston going at what is it? Southern Methodist University. So Southern Methodist University has a lot of history. They were one of the few one or two NCAA teams to be blackballed or black sheeted or black card, or however you call it, where their program was wiped out for cheating allegations back after Eric Dickerson or during the Eric Dickerson scandal, which is probably 30 years beyond your footballness. Eric Dickerson was a great running back from back in the day. Played for the Rams and the Colts.
And the Colts.
But they've had a couple teams over the last couple of years that's kind of popped in and out. And the thing with Houston is they're playing conference. What is it? At the AAC athletic conference, the A whatever. They're in with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
The AAC, American Athletic Conference. Bam. There you go. So they're in with them. And Houston, like you say, Houston always seems to have that one team that just pops up out of nowhere. You know what I mean? They always seem to beat you at that moment. Because if you look at it, they always seem to win 7, 8, 9, 10 games a year. Somewhere around there. Always in the bowl game. You always see one or two players sneak into the NFL. So I do like it. So the Lion, he goes Houston. He's thinking your style. He's going Houston 33-31. I think I'm going to go ahead and ride Southern Methodist University and go with them at 30-28. Now, this is the game of all games, second to the game that is the game. The game of the week, we got number 6 Michigan Wolverines, go blue, hell to the victor. Going against little brother, number 8, Michigan State Spartans. This game is in East Lansing. I am pissed off. This is a noon game. This game should not be a noon game. This game should be a 7:30 game underneath the lights. I'm only assuming that Michigan State doesn't have lights. I don't know. I know the Big House does within the last 10 years, but I'm only assuming. But what do you got any thoughts on this game before I get into my all hail to the victors?
Michigan State finds a way to lose every big game they need to win. And it's as simple as that. Like, it either goes down to, like the Eagles, they don't like running the ball, or quarterback always finds a way to find the biggest moment and just let everybody down last second. So I think, honestly, I think that game ends 28-14, and the 14 points are scored in the first half, and they just die off later in the game.
I would love for that to go that way. This is easy as pie as that. I don't think it's going to be that easy. I do like Michigan, obviously, in this game, 30-23. I think it's going to be a lot closer game. Both of these teams are very quality on defense. They both have great pass rush. Michigan with Hutchinson, and I forgot the other African-sounding name of the guy on the other end of the defensive line. They press in very well on opposing quarterbacks. I think he's in the top 10 in sacks. I know he's on Mel Kiper's big board at the top 10 coming off this year. Their secondary is growing and getting stronger and stronger. Same with Michigan State. Very solid against the run. And both of these teams are very good on the run. You got the number one total offensive rushing attack with Michigan, and I think you got number 4 total offensive rushing attack with Michigan State. So this game is going to be a classic Big Ten game. It's going to be played in the cold. It's going to be played in the mud. It's going to be played in the grimy. And Michigan State always seems to not win the big game except for when it's with Michigan. Because I remember a few years back, we were winning that game, and then all of a sudden,
you tried punting it.
Yes.
Oh, that I think that play ended that guy's career. I don't know what happened to him. I watched a video on it, a documentary on it. He blew something in his leg, and he never played a game ever after that. That ended his career. But that final play, beating you guys, that was, one way to go out.
This was absolutely ridiculous. So
let's hope you don't have to punt last play.
Yeah, hope we don't have to punt. But I'm sure those boosters, put him somewhere special. But, the Michigan running attack is a two-headed foe. You got a guy in Haskins that is powerful, hit the line, but he also has that L1 ability. Then you got Crum, who has the L1, L2, the spin button, all that breakaway type speed. What it's going to come down to is, can K. McNamara make the plays down the field? That's what it's going to come down to. And so I got them. I got Michigan 30-23. What is the Lion? Looks like he's going with me. He's got Michigan 26-24. Him being a Notre Dame fan, you don't understand how hard is that for him to pick them. This is very difficult, especially since we don't play for another 13 years and the ass whooping we gave them on the door out. Yeah.
Still feeling it.
He's still feeling it, and I won't let it go. All right, so then we pick an upset game of the week. These are games that we think throughout the college world that there's a potential of an upset. So the Lion, he picked Indiana over Maryland 24-23. I like it. I don't really know if it's an upset because both of those teams suck. So I guess he's going off pure record.
I don't know what we're talking about Maryland for. They've been irrelevant since Stephon Diggs, like, to be honest.
I don't know what's going on. They got cute uniforms.
Hey, every time they wear that blackout uniform, they lose like 55 to like 7. So I think they need to stop trying to look cute, put some more money into those boosters, and find some talent.
I love it. I'm going with Ole Miss, number 10 Ole Miss at 18 Auburn. I'm going to go with Auburn 42-37. You want to know why? I'm going to tell you why. I don't have stats for Auburn. I don't have any negative stats for Ole Miss. I just don't like Lane Kiffin.
Fuck it. Why not?
That's it. That's all I got. Just don't like Lane Kiffin.
I don't know the game, but anybody playing BYU. I hate BYU. They stole Zach Wilson from us. He was supposed to join Boise State. He transferred to BYU. So I hate him. BYU, I hope they lose.
Well, if it wasn't for the female student body, says BYU aren't allowed to fornicate while they're players.
Wow.
Yeah, they get put out of school for that.
There you go.
And they bring them young. I apologize.
I don't. Ban him forever.
Zach Wilson got hurt.
He did. The Eagles traded Joe Flacco to them for a 6th-round pick, a conditional. So that's even if he plays.
So they're playing trade me with Joe Flacco. You take him back.
Yep.
Awesome. That is great. So now we move over to our money game. These are the games that we bet on. So he goes with 17 Pittsburgh. Well, Miami at 17 Pittsburgh. The line is Pittsburgh 9 over under 61. He went Miami +9 and the over. I can't give Miami anything.
When's the last time we could reliably count on Miami?
That's my point. You know, it pissed me off because I gave them one more shot at the beginning of the year. Miami to challenge North Carolina at the top of the ACC, and both of them have just pissed that all away.
I remember my freshman year, my starting quarterback was a Miami fan, and I sat there one day and I just looked at him. I said, "Why do you like hurting yourself?" Because, like, since Ed Reed, Michael Irvin, when have they been relevant? Like, when have they consistently proven? Like, Tennessee fans, every year I hear they're back, they're back, they're back. But every game they're supposed to win or they are competitive in, they start off good, and then the fourth quarter, third quarter, they're like, oh, it's a close game. They're winning by 7, they're losing by 3, then they lose by 17 at the end of the game. It's like, no, I will never trust Miami. No. Well, unless they get Archie Manning.
Well, they did. Well, they're not going to get Arch. Not at all. I wouldn't be surprised if they changed the rule and let him go pro.
Just let him go like basketball. Here you go.
Let go. You know what I'm saying? We know you. But Miami did have some years after. Didn't they win a national championship after that with did they win with Edrin? No, I think they won kind of in the early 2020s or something like that. I have to look on that. I have to check. But they've had spotty years, man, where you thought that they were good or relevant, but you know, it's just that that's not the main focus, you know. And I agree with, I think one of the analysts said quite a ways back. I think it was Herbie. He said when they moved games from the Orange Bowl, it's kind of really went down because you don't get that student body atmosphere the way you do because, I mean, it's an hour down the road to go watch your college play football. It doesn't make sense for them not to have a stadium on Miami or be the Orange Bowl. I really think it's stupid. I think it affects the student body, which is all of it, and the athletic director has no cares about the football. I think their focus right now is on men's basketball.
And that's the sad thing. It's like, if your team's already not that good, why make it harder for fans to want to come to your games? Like, it makes no sense.
What we got? We got Matt saying Pittsburgh wins, but Miami will cover. It's a trap game. I'll give him that. You know, Miami can do some crazy things. You know, I could see Pittsburgh walking into there being, yeah, Miami, you suck. This is not the cane. This is not the turnover chain. This is not what we want to see. And walking in there and not being completely focused and squeak one by like how Cincinnati did with last week. So I could see that. Let's see. Where do we go from here? My money game, I'm going with number 9, Iowa at Wisconsin. Yeah, I'm going to stay in the Big Ten. The line is Wisconsin, -3, over under 36.5. I'm going with Iowa, 3 and the under. The reason why, because Iowa is still playing good football, even though they know they don't have a chance. They still have a shot of coming out of their division of the Big Ten, you know, to give them at least an outside fighting chance. With one loss, you still have a chance. You know what I mean? So they're still fighting for that. And Wisconsin, they just, you know what I mean, since that first loss, they have just been going down, down, down. The Michigan loss was really bad for them, and they just been not playing good football. So I like Iowa in this one. Let's see. Just dealt with it with Penn State against Illinois. That is correct. We talked about that a little bit ago. So let's see. All right. So that's what we got for our college. So we got JC in here to chit chat about the NFL. So that's what we are really looking. Wisconsin D is good. Iowa's D is better. Wisconsin's offense is slightly better. If their quarterback can throw the ball past 5 yards across the offensive line. So, all right. So let's jump into a quick commercial from Elite Performance, and then we will get into some NFL chit chat. All righty. Welcome back, everybody, to State of Basketball. Wrong show. This is Dukes of Football. I'm just doing too much. Welcome back, Dukes of Football. We got our special guest, JC, hanging out with us, old fan of ours out in Philadelphia. Now, tell the people how you got hooked up with us here at BW Sports One. You do the iRacing thing?
The what?
You do the iRacing thing with Dan and them?
No. I'm with my brother-in-law with Bare Knuckle.
Bare Knuckle
Media.
Love it. You guys be knocking people out with knuckles. It's awesome. So have you been to some of the fights with them?
We went to the last 7 events.
Nice.
Yeah.
So is it you can hear the knuckles hitting,
Let's put it this
face
way.
and stuff.
When you watch it on TV, it can't even relate to how awesome it is in person. Like, you can hear every knuckle, every bone. You hear someone break a rib, you feel that broken rib. You see someone nose explode. You see an eye. It's the real deal there. Once you take those gloves off, it's a different world of experience.
Yeah, we've caught, the wife and I have caught a couple of them on the app and on our jump fire stick. We've caught a couple of the events. So one thing I don't like about it is the fact that you need to stop putting them on nights of heavy other sporting events, because it's a new upcoming sport that people are really getting into it because they like the combat. This is pretty much as close to the gladiator as you can get. You know what I mean? So people are liking it, but they're getting conflicted. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I got all this on a Friday night. You know what I mean? Just like I think it was a couple weeks ago, the last Fight Night 2 or Fight Night 1 it was. I was like, this has been the perfect weekend to have these fights. There's nothing on, so everybody can get great exposure on it. But we like watching it, you know what I mean? So I enjoy it. You know what I mean? I've caught some of the telecasts that you guys have done, so it's pretty good. Pretty good. Last question about that. What do you think about these fighters not making weight?
Listen, me and my brother-in-law got into arguments until I started training the fight. I think it is the most ridiculous thing in the world. If you sign up a job, any job, and you have 3 parts for that job, it goes make weight, fight, and just be a good person, and you don't make that weight, you're not doing your job. Any other job, if you don't do a qualification or do anything, you get fired. And you look bad for any other jobs. But these people, they use the excuse of it's a new fight, it's a new sport. It doesn't matter. You are a professional. I don't care if it's your first fight. I don't care if it's your 50th fight. You signed a contract for a certain weight. You make that weight. And if you don't, well, go find a different sport to play.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Man, that rant Dan put up, man, that's opened up a whole can of whoop-ass worms. But I agree. If you're going to sign up for a fight at a certain weight, then unless it's a catchweight fight, then you need to come in at that fight. Now, we all know that you're not going to fight at that weight, because once you weigh in, that weight goes away, immediately. And so we know you're not going to fight at that weight. So why not make weight? If that's a part of the sport, that's like showing up on the hockey ring with no ice skates. Or
going to a football game without no helmet.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So I feel that, the powers that be, the board of directors, whenever they get all of that sanctioned properly, I think that's something they'll address, because you can't just go around. But then we just had the same issue in a UFC fight this weekend.
Paulo Costa has broken the record for overweight. The record before that was, I believe, 12 pounds. He was 20 pounds overweight. So that means if he wanted to fight at 205, he missed that weight when they were supposed to do the official weigh-ins. His last fight against UL, he was 222 pounds. And you're telling me a week before the weigh-ins, you're telling me you couldn't make it because of a left bicep. You couldn't sit in a hot tub or, cut weight any sort of way. It's ridiculous. I think the UFC is doing it right. You take pay cuts, but it needs to be like Israel Adesanya said, 50%. Some of these dudes are made of money. Like, some of these dudes have other businesses, CBD or a whiskey brand. Mm-hmm. I think it either goes as, if you win the fight, it's a disqualification or no contest. It needs to be serious. These guys risk their lives every single day and don't have other opportunities. Some of these guys had misfortunes earlier in their lives where they had criminal records or they were in the wrong bunch, and this is their only opportunities. And when their competition don't take it as serious because they were given, they had better luck, it ruined, that ruins their body. CTE is a real thing. Concussions, broken bones, liver, all these things. I think if bare knuckle wants to be taken serious and put on a different type of level like the UFC, they need to really hound on these immature amateurs that want to be professional fighters. I think it needs to be taken serious, and I think
you hit their pockets.
The consequences for these actions need to be taken life or death, because this is life or death. It's like Exactly. Or you need to suspend them for medical reasons, because if you can't make that weight, there must have been a medical reason, especially if Paulo Costa says you have an injured bicep, then why are you taking the fight?
Why are you taking the fight? And an injured bicep, you 20 pounds overweight?
That's just like
maybe 3 or 4 or 5 pounds.
The high school team 20? That played IMG.
Who, Sierra Canyon or Bishop Chatard? Or Bishop, whatever.
20 pounds.
Bishop Sycamore. Yeah, 20 pounds overweight. Yeah, that's ridiculous. But anyway, he got what he wanted. He got his ass whooped. I watched it. He got his ass whooped.
Yeah, that Bishop, yeah.
Bishop Sycamore, yeah. All right, so let's get into some NFL. Let's see what we got here. So, nope, that's not it. NFL talk. Where am I? I don't know where the hell I am.
So I think anyway, is going on. All right, we're back.
All right, we're back. We're talking about NFL now. Where is all of my crap? There we go. I found it. Inside the NFL Cooler Chatter. Brought to you by Circle City Cryogenics, where we freeze just about anything but bodies. All right, so now we're into our NFL talk. I had a whole list of shit to talk about NFL, but when I talked to you earlier today, I said, you know what? Screw it. I ain't talking about none of that shit. We're going to go right to what we want to talk about. I still got my picks, but we're going to talk about this. So we're going to start off with coaches in the hot seat. Coaches in the hot seat. I only got one coach in the hot seat. And he'll be back in a second. All right, so we'll bring him back in. We'll bring him back in when his signal comes back up. So while I'm waiting for him to come back in, I'll talk about some of that crap that I was saying I didn't want to talk about. So there he is.
All right. Sorry about that. The internet went out.
Oh, dude, you're good. That shit happens to everybody. All right, so coaches on the hot seat. I only got one coach on the hot seat that's like so hot. I already know how he still got it. Yeah, Matt Nagy.
Matt Knight? Okay, let's put it this way. It's the same reason why the Eagles coaches say longer than a year. The management up at top, they don't want to take the blame for it. So they let this guy take all the blame. They'll sit there and say, this guy was so good at his position and, you know, we gave him an opportunity and they let him draft whoever they want. And then when he messes up completely and the fans can't take it anymore, they finally let him go. It is ridiculous that man still has a job.
It is absolutely ridiculous that man has a job. I'm surprised he ain't got that kid hurt yet. You know what I mean? He is proven to be an incapable and incompetent head coach. Now, I don't know if you're calling the plays. I don't know what you got going on up there, but you're not putting this guy, Justin Fields, in a position to be successful, in a position to learn to be successful. Yeah, he's a rookie quarterback. They're going to have their issues. They all do. You know what I mean? Peyton Manning won one game or 3 games. You know what I'm saying? He sucked. But you know what I mean? But you have to give him those – you have to put him in opportunities to try to get better. You're out there just putting that boy out there to kill, and then he don't want to run the ball, which is what got you to the league. You know what I mean? So I think Nagy has to fall on a lot of that blame, and he's very good at deflecting that off to other people in those press conferences. Very often, very few times has he said, you know what? It's my fault. I don't know what I'm doing. That's what he should say.
And the thing is, it's crazy that they had Andy Dalton, you have Nick Foles, and then you bring in Justin Fields. 3 completely different quarterbacks. And they try to run the exact same plays with all 3 of them. And then you sit there and you get no help for them. There's no help on that offense. They have no run game. They have no receivers. There's nothing there. And for them to just throw Justin Fields, and that proves the point that Mitchell Trubisky was not the problem. It's the head coach.
Oh, yeah.
It's all the coaches he brought in. It's all of that. There's no reason Mitchell Trubisky should not get another chance. Now, I'm not saying he's no Tom Brady, but he took that team to 2 playoffs, and with like that's something. That's saying something about Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah, I mean, we were all over Mitchell Trubisky. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I want to apologize to you too. You know what I mean? It's not your fault. You put in the situation not to win. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I mean, I think there might be a couple other coaches. I think Mike McCarthy is on that coaching seat. You know, right now the Cowboys are winning games, so it's kind of not really focusing on him a lot, but his decision making over the last 2 years and critical points of the game have been so questionable. And he just has this look on his face like
he's given up.
so
He's given up.
Yeah, and I think the what is it, the offensive coordinator is doing more head coaching than I think Mike McCarthy is. I think he's I think he's a head fixture, kind of like Jason Garrett was. You know what I mean? But I think Jason Garrett had something on. I think he had something on Jerry Jones. Like he had the photos of him and the cocaine and the hookers in the back.
He's got a couple of emails saved.
Yeah, he's got something. So, but I think Mike McCarthy is probably on that list too. Outside of that, maybe Shanahan in San Francisco. But I can't really see too much other than that.
I think, honestly, as a Vikings fan, I think Mike Zimmer's on his way out. I think if they don't make the playoffs and at least win, if they don't, now it's very unrealistic if they win out, but if they don't make it out of the wild card, I think he's gone.
I forgot about Zimmer.
He's probably one of the second greatest head coach in Vikings history, but his production, the teams he's had, and the records he's produced after those teams do not equate to what could have been. One NFC championship.
He's the second greatest coach not to win a championship?
No, in Vikings history. No, he's not even close. You know, in Vikings history. I think he's just too old. I think he just sat there and he's very old school, and he doesn't have it in him anymore to be a legit contender. He's not Bill Belichick where he can be 50 years into coaching and still have it. He's just not it. I think this is last year. Even if we make it, I think he might be in a position where even if he wins a wild card, it's not good enough and he's gone.
Yeah, I think Minnesota has a lot of answers, a lot of answers to some questions that they really aren't trying to ask. And you do have to look at Mike Zimmer for some of the teams that he's put together with the players that he's had. You know what I mean? You've had outstanding defenses over the last couple of years. And you haven't been able to do anything with them. You got Kirk Cousins to play good football for a contract year. And that's pretty much what you got. You like that. And for a half a season. And that was it. You know what I'm saying? So is it time? So you paid him all this money. So is it time to start to make a move on him, or do you get rid of the coach? Most likely they're going to get rid of the coach.
Honestly, a lot of people disagree with me, but I think without Kirk Cousins, we would be the New York Giants of the NFC. Without Kirk Cousins, we would be the Lions. We would be 0-7. Kirk Cousins, if you look at his stats, yes, he doesn't win primetime games, but look at his stats during those games. First of all, he played for the Redskins. That answers half his career. So half those career games, I wouldn't even put on him. Honestly, half those losses this year, I would put on the defense. Show me a game this year where Kirk Cousins wasn't lights out. He's, I think, 11-3. He's got over 1,000 yards passing. He has no blame in this. I give zero blame to Kirk Cousins. Do I think he's worth $85 million guaranteed? Not at all. Do I think he should be our starter? Yes. I think Kellen Mond, after the preseason, we saw that he's not ready, and we should not rush him. He's not even going to be half of what RG3 would be. He wouldn't be anywhere near these guys. He would not be Mac Jones. He wouldn't be any of these guys. So I think without Kirk Cousins, we would be the laughing stock of football.
I wouldn't go as far as the laughing stock of football, But because I think that you guys got good pieces, you just need to get those pieces to work well together. I'm not a hater of Kirk Cousins. I kind of like him. You like that. That was awesome. You know what I mean? He's always been a guy not to lose games, but he's not a guy that'll go win games. You know what I'm saying? I think Kirk Cousins, I think he's an overpaid backup. You know what I mean? I really do. I think he's a good guy, but I think the Minnesota can do better. Now, what they have behind him, you really have no choice. You know what I mean? And
that is also true.
Yeah, you don't really have a choice, but you have to play. But I don't want to say Kirk Cousins is a bad quarterback. Kirk Cousins is a quarterback that won't lose the game for you. I'll say that.
But it also doesn't help that Dalvin Cook can't stay healthy for 3 games in a row. You also have that. Yeah. Or we bring back Anthony Barr, and he hasn't been healthy since the NFC Championship game, which was in 2017. So I think – and, we bring back Everson Griffin, who's out of his prime, but he helps the defense. But people like Anthony Barr – we get rid of Anthony Harris when he stopped having production. We got rid of him. We sent him to the Eagles. Anthony Barr needs to go. I think we get rid of Kyle Rudolph. We send him to the Giants. I think Mike Zimmer's too close to the guys he's had throughout his career in Minnesota. Why wasn't Harrison Smith extended 2 years ago? I don't care if he still has years left on his contract. We had no problem extending Kirk Cousins. We were winning games with Teddy Bridgewater.
That's a whole nother conversation. Yes, that's what this is, the Teddy Bridgewater curse. There was no reason to just give up on that man when he was winning your football team games. He was playing, he had a freak leg injury, and then he was like, oh, my Teddy Bridgewater, he's just no damage good. Just ship him off.
And and that's the thing. I think, it's an old white man taking care of a predominantly African-American team. And let's face it how it is, Teddy Bridgewater left and you bring in Kirk Cousins. And there's not much, they might not have the exact same stats. Kirk Cousins might have more, but he's been around Kyle Shanahan. He's been around dudes that built around him, and Teddy Bridgewater did not get that opportunity. Just like when he went to the Saints and went 5-0. He went 5-0 as a backup, brought them
and just washed his ass right away.
and he's gone. And then he goes to Denver, loses a couple games, and then he's like, oh, well, he's washed up. It's like no one ever
don't believe in him. You know what I mean? I think he's got a better. I think I got a better argument with Bridgewater than I do Jacoby Brissett.
But Jacoby Brissett, what is it?
I'm just mad at Indianapolis because they didn't give the brother a shot. You know what I'm saying? You got a half a year with a broke down offensive line, a half of one receiver, no tight ends, and say, oh, he's not getting the job done. And he was hurt.
It's insane. It is insane. And then you get these guys. Like, why did Brock Osweiler get a chance in the NFL longer than he did? That man should be in prison for bank robbery. He robbed Houston, Denver, Miami. That man is 3 times better burglar than anybody ever. He's the mastermind of stealing people's money.
I still got Bobby Bonilla. He's still getting paid $1 million a year from the Mets.
But the Lions still won't pay Calvin Johnson.
No.
Insane.
So, yeah, I think the last one on that list I would have to say would probably be Shanahan in San Francisco, because this is just not working. It's just not working no matter what he does. And, just keep falling on the outside looking in. You got this great wasted defense. So I think he could be sneakily on the hot seat as the season progresses.
How do you feel about Mike Tomlin? How do you think they handled it right by bringing back Big Ben, even though he had no arm left?
What did we have better?
Well, let's
not
put
for
it
Mike
this way.
Tomlin, talking about for Ben. Now, Ben's my favorite Steeler ever. I've been a Steeler fan since I was like 8 years old. So He's my favorite Steeler. Now, I don't want to say too much about it, but yeah, Ben's old. I think if Ben was in a situation where a couple of these other old quarterbacks is, where he doesn't have to do so much, you could see still some of that effectiveness because he can still throw the ball down the field. He can still do all. He still has the arm strength. He shows it. He just gets the opportunity to get it done because his offensive line is hot trash. You know what I'm saying? This shit is a dumpster fire.
How would you feel if they brought in someone like Cam Newton and run like a Russell Wilson in early career? No, okay.
No.
Okay.
I would do Watson, but I would not bring in Cam Newton to my football team. He's washed up.
What about all the allegations? You don't have any problem worrying about him being suspended?
See, this is my thing with the allegations. Well, if he gets suspended, it's going to be this year. And I have two things I have an issue with that. For one, if you're not going to be punished in the court of law for a situation like that, then your employment should not have the opportunity to punish you if the court of law does not. I don't give a damn if it violates your code of conduct because it doesn't violate your code of conduct because he was not found guilty. That's what I got on that.
Of those charges, like Ray Rice,
or release it. Right, you know what I'm saying.
Like,
I have a problem with that.
Ray Rice. Well, those are different. Ray Rice and different situations. But I think it comes down to people are finding excuses why to keep these guys off the field because it makes the fans happy if they see justice for someone because they might agree with it. But it also comes down to it's this man's life, and we've seen it before. Where athletes have been accused of very disgusting things and been proven innocent, and their careers are over because of it.
Ruined. Yep. You're guilty before proven innocent, and you should be innocent before proven guilty. And it doesn't happen. The court of public opinion kills these people. And the thing I got with Deshaun Watson, and I've said it before, you got 22 cases, and not one of those cases is a criminal case. So right there is simple. This is some bullshit. I think what it was is the city of Houston. They didn't like how the NFL got John Gruden. I'm a conspiracy theorist, bro. But I feel what they did was they were pissed off because he was unhappy after signing that huge ass deal because all of the moves that y'all were making, he didn't want to be a part of that bullshit anymore. And so he wanted out. So we're gonna make an example of you. That's what we're gonna do. We're going to show you who's boss, boy. We're going to show you who's boss. And so all of a sudden, like Deshaun Watson was the nice guy. This guy, everybody through the league, you couldn't find a bad thing on him. You couldn't find nothing on him in Cleveland. But all of a sudden, he don't want to be in Houston, and here come 22 women. Really? 22? 22? I know 5. They'll go right to the police. You to me, 22 women, not one filed a police report. Same thing with Gruden. There's 650,000 now. I thought everything he did was wrong. He should be punished how he is. 650,000 emails. And he's the only one. He pissed somebody off. He didn't do what he was supposed to do in this cartel that is the NFL, and they made an example. So, and that's why they won't release the rest of them. All the rest of y'all see what we can do. Fall in line.
Look at the head of Hall of Fame, the guy that introduces people or introduction people into the Hall of Fame. He retired immediately after John Gruden was pretty much fired from his job after he retired from being a head coach. No, that's called you didn't agree with something. Perfect example, Chip Kelly. When Chip Kelly came to the Eagles, everything was fine until he tried treating these grown-ass men like college students.
Yep.
Making them run. You're not going to get Jason Peters to run like a 20-year-old every single day, and then LaShawn McCoy.
Especially when I make more money than you do.
Exactly. And then when you have dudes like LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, Nick Foles when he was good, and then you get rid of them. Like you trade LaShawn McCoy for Kiko Alonso. And then Deshaun Jackson, when he was with Cal, had gang ties. Okay, there's problems with that. You should not be involved with that. But he tried getting away from that, and you cut him because of his past? That is insane. The man's still playing in the NFL, and Chip Kelly's somewhere coaching some team that is irrelevant right now. So how much sense does that make getting rid of a guy because of his past?
Hey, you know what I mean? They crazy with it right now, bro, with this cancel culture. That's a whole nother conversation that I don't want to get into.
We might
But I
get
mean,
canceled. Let's not talk about it. Let's not offend
definitely
anybody.
get canceled. Well, they can't cancel me. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit. What you gonna do? You know what I mean? You gonna cancel me? Woo! I canceled the one. That shit's not making TMZ.
There you go.
But so I don't know, man. Yeah, but anyway, so let's move on. Let's get to our next one. Now, this one should be fun. MVP front runners. This should be fun. I wanted to wait to do this the next week to after tomorrow's game with Aaron Rodgers and Kyler Murray. But I'm like, no, what? Screw it. Let's talk about it. You got a couple guys. You got Kyler Murray. You got Dak, who should be in there. And I'm not a Cowboy fan, but I like Dak. You got Dak's name in there. You got Tom Brady, who I don't think people really should be talking about, even though he's playing. He's got better stats than he did when he was in his 20s, and he's 44 years old. He should be MVP every year. Every time he starts his season, he should be MVP.
I got conspiracy theories about that. I think Tom Brady's on EPOs. Listen, look at all the guys he's with. Guys that are younger than him, they start to deteriorate. Peyton Manning, his arm exploded. He can barely throw the ball down the field anymore when he won Super Bowl 50. Big Ben can't throw like he used to. All these guys, Drew Brees couldn't throw a paper bag down a hallway, and he was 4 years younger than Tom Brady. And Tom Brady went from throwing like a high school kid to throwing like Dak Prescott now. And he's, what, 42?
44. He's
44. Like, come on, man. That's insane. That is not natural.
Listen. It is natural. It's starting to be natural because you start to see all over the sport. Used to be the only sport that had old dudes was baseball. Baseball was the only sport that had old ass dudes because you don't do shit in baseball. I mean, you stand around for 9 innings, and every once in a while you have to exert yourself to go catch a ball. You do nothing. You scratch your crotch and you spit sunflower seeds. You nasty.
You catch a ball.
You catch a ball. Ooh, throw it back. You didn't do nothing. The person gets all the damn work is the catcher and the pitcher. But older guys are playing longer in the NBA. Older guys are playing longer, and not just playing longer, still being effective at playing at these later ages. Guys are taking care of their bodies. You know, when I was young and we were playing, we didn't take care of our bodies like that. Yeah, we tried to eat a little better. Yeah, we tried to work out, and stuff like that. But we don't take care of the bodies the way they do now. Like Tom Brady hadn't eaten bread in 20 years. You know what I'm saying? These guys spend millions of dollars on their bodies. So, yeah, I can see it. You know what I mean? But if the offense is designed for you to do exactly what you do, if Tom Brady was in Pittsburgh, he would look 44 years old.
No, you're right. That is true. You changed my mind on that.
You know what I mean? And dude, he's got a freaking supermodel. Wouldn't you want to stay in shape too?
And she makes more money than him. He's got to do something right.
Hey, well, I don't know if she make more money. She might have at one point in time. I know she's a bad bitch, but listen, bro, you're next to Gisele Bundchen. I'm pretty sure you're going to stay in shape too. I'm just putting it out there. But let's get to the people for the MVP. So you got Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson.
I got Joe Burrow over Lamar Jackson.
You got because of the game. That game.
No, I think I don't care. Take away the running back scenarios. I watched that game from start to beginning, and after halftime, you can see the quit. You can see the whole team momentum and just will to determine to even try. You know when you're losing a game. I've played football. You probably played football. There's no reason if you're losing 44-0, 44-42 to give up a game. They completely gave up that game. You can see it. The fourth down conversions were pitiful. You can see him right after he threw the ball. He was walking to the sideline, wasn't even like looking at the screen to see what he did wrong, yelling at teammates. I understand competitiveness, but I saw no heart after that game.
I mean, when things aren't going your way, yeah, you guys are gonna butt heads with each other because you have different views of why things aren't going that way. I don't think it was a quit. It was just at a point at the time that Cincinnati just had it and wanted it more than Baltimore did. You know what I mean? I think that the injuries finally caught up to Baltimore in that particular game, and it was exploited. Let's face it. You know what I mean? The weakest part of Baltimore's defense is their corners. The strongest part of Cincinnati's offense is Chase. And that's what they went to. You know what I mean? So I think it was a good win for Cincinnati. I think it was a good win for the AFC North. Cincinnati has been trash, but I still got Lamar Jackson ahead of Joe Burrows in the MVP race. I don't have him at the top, but I still have him up there because, I mean, the things that he's doing on the floor, on the field right now is just amazing. And the fact that what we have known to see him do is run the ball, and that's not what he's majorly doing right now. He is standing in the pocket, and he is hitting these slant routes, these crossing routes, these post and goals, these timing routes on a dime. It's not like the old Lamar Jackson where he was just throwing the ball up and hoping somebody come gets it. Now he's anticipating plays. He's putting balls on spots. And now it makes his running look so much more better. So much better. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Had to check my English. So I have him up there. So I still have him a little ahead of him. Right now, I would say I'd have to lean Tom Brady second to Kyler Murray.
See, my thing is this. As a Vikings fan, I would never like to talk about Aaron Rodgers in a good way. But let's be honest. They can win every game for the rest of the season. They're going to lose in the NFC Championship game, blowout loss, and we won't talk about it again. He's what, 1-4? It's ridiculous. MVP, what most valued player. That means if you go in any team, you would be that member that would take them to the next level. Do we think Aaron Rodgers would be able to take the Jets, the Lions, and improve them? Because if you look at it, he's had some great teams, but if they don't do, because we'll look at it, Green Bay, once they don't give him what he wants out. He'll go do Jeopardy. He doesn't care. He'll make that money somewhere else.
And I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. Aaron Rodgers has been extremely loyal to Green Bay. Green Bay has not shown Aaron Rodgers the proper respect and loyalty that I think he deserves. He thinks he deserves, and other Hall of Fame quarterbacks that were in his position thinks he deserves. You know what I'm saying? But you got to look down at the numbers. Aaron Rodgers produces on the football field. And yes, I think if he did go to the Lions, he would make the Lions better. They would be over. I guarantee you if Aaron Rodgers was on the Lions, they would be over because Aaron Rodgers is like one of those quarterbacks like Tom Brady. He makes receivers great that you've never heard of. You know what I'm saying? Look back at some of those receivers that Tom Brady's had, other than Deion Branch. Tell me where they went to school. Where did Julian Edelman go to school? I watched college football, college basketball, college baseball, college wrestling. I've never heard of Julian Edelman until he got to the league. You know what I mean? I
think he went to Kent State or something like that. But he was a quarterback, and he did punt return, and now he's arguably a Hall of Fame wide receiver.
Because Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers both make great receivers out of basic people.
Well, my argument is that he wouldn't make those teams better. My argument is the Packers and how historic they are wouldn't give Aaron Rodgers what he wanted. They won't help him. They barely brought back Randall Cobb. They drafted a wide receiver and a running back after they went to the NFC Championship game. Do we think the Jets, who constantly mess up any situation that is good for them, would they give Aaron Rodgers anything Would they even draft anybody for them? Would they sign anybody like a wide receiver good for him?
I mean, I guess that depends on what the organization wants to do if Aaron Rodgers was to get there. You know, I mean, Green Bay, for some reason, felt that they didn't want to put pieces around him. You know, and for me, I feel that's stupid for your football team. Aaron Rodgers is your best chance to win championships. Why wouldn't you not give him what he's one of the top 10 quarterbacks of all time? Why would you not give him what you want? He's already taken you to 2 Super Bowls, won one. Why would you not give him what he needs to make you guys better? Why would you go
get rid of those parts?
On shabby ass backyard coach that you've never heard of, and then he comes in and tries to tell Aaron Rodgers, the guy who won Super Bowls, who's hailed as the better quarterback than Brett Favre in Green Bay, how are you just gonna come here and just tell him, no, this is what we're gonna do? No, you're supposed to talk to the guy who's going to win you football games, and they didn't do that. And so Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's going to be in Green Bay next year. He's going to go somewhere where he's going to be valued. Tom Brady laid out a
hey, he can follow Brett Favre's footsteps. He can come over to Minnesota, take us to the NFC Championship, maybe win us a Super Bowl. I'm not complaining then. I love the man.
The better move would go to Pittsburgh. That would be the better
listen.
That would be the better move.
You can have him 1 year. You can take him. You can win a Super Bowl. Then you can send him over to us.
That puts us with 7, and we're back in the lead, and I'm good with that.
Oh, perfect. Hey, we're 0 for 4. You know, I'll take 1. You know, 1's better than nothing.
No, but I do think Aaron Rodgers' name needs to be in that conversation, just kind of like it was last year. You know, how beat up and crippled was that team last year, but yet Aaron Rodgers always finds a way to win that game. I would love to do that with this game coming tomorrow, but I'm sorry, I can't. Not Davante Adams not going, even though I believe in what Aaron Rodgers can do on the football field. But
apparently Davante Adams isn't playing tomorrow. And
no, he's not. That's why I went with the Cardinals.
No. I think Kyler Murray's number 1, but if Aaron Rodgers finds a way to win this game, even if he doesn't win another big game and keeps putting up the stats he does, he is the MVP for this year.
Yeah, he'll compete with Tom Brady because Tom Brady is not going to lose until he goes into I don't think he'll lose again until they maybe a game or 2 before the playoffs when they have to buy. They have to sit.
We'll go rest some players.
Yeah. I think he's found it. The defense is starting to get together. But I like what you said between those two. So, but Kyler Murray right now is outstanding guy who's leading that pack. He's slinging the ball all over the place with pinpoint accuracy. He's got the most accurate deep ball that I've seen in such a long time. And he's able to get around, and being 5'8", I don't know how you do it, but the dude is electrifying, and he's off that. Let's see. Hold on. What we got here? Dan said, JC, who the Eagles beat in the NFC Championship game at their home field?
Listen, what fan base ate horseshit after winning the Super Bowl? I don't care who you are. I don't care who you beat. You're the fan base sat there and said, "We just won the one time ever, and we're gonna go outside. We're gonna find a horse. We're gonna bend over, and we're gonna eat some horse shit." I think I'm okay with not winning the Super Bowl. I'm not eating no horse shit.
Oh, this is a continuation from earlier today. All right. Let's get into these picks, man, because I'm over here missing the Pacer game and the Nets game and the Hornets game. No, I'm always watching something. So let's get into these picks. But yes, I do like Kyler Murray at that. So we'll see how it goes at the end of the year. This game tomorrow is going to be excellent. So we're going to jump into our Doc Sports NFL picks of the week, brought to you by Doc Sports. Once again, text BW Sports 1 to 29022 for your free $60 in picks. All right, first game up, my good man. We have, the Steelers and the Browns. What an exciting game for myself in the AFC North. What an exciting game. Here it is for these guys. Good game. I'm going Steelers 2017. The Lion is going Steelers 30-20. What do you have, my good man?
If Baker's not playing and that defense, nope. So I mean, Kareem Hunt, I believe, is out with a hamstring injury.
Both of them are out with a calf.
There's no point. You might as well just say it's a bye week. It's another bye week, unless Big Ben decides not to play that game and just do like he did against the Jags in that championship game and just like throwing picks. I don't see them losing. The defense cannot help that offense that much. There's not a player alive unless
we got a
Sean
Watt.
Taylor,
we got
all
a Watt.
these legends.
We got a Watt.
Yeah, there's no way.
We got one of the Watt boys.
I think it's going to be something like
we got
33-13, if that. I think it's going to be a blowout. Najee Harris runs all over the Bears or the Browns.
Well, I would like for him to run all over the Browns, but the Browns' defensive line is stout. They still do have Myles Garrett and LaDainian Clowney, so I won't get too excited. We thought the same thing when we picked against them last week when they miraculously won with Case Keenum. So you have to be aware that Case Keenum can manage games. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they still ran the ball when both of the running backs were, gone somewhere. And who was it? The running back who they got off the street.
He sat there 2 years ago. Yes, he sat there 2 years ago and was begging every what was that league called?
The AFL.
Yeah, he was begging that, and then he runs for 100+ yards and a touchdown.
146 yards, a touchdown, and 22 yards out the backfield. Ernest. Yes,
so let's put it this way.
He just got him a contract.
The Broncos are not who we thought they were at all.
I didn't think they were shit anyway.
At all. They
Poor
Von
Miller.
I don't care. We love Teddy Bridgewater. I love Von Miller. Patrick Surtain could be defensive player of the year, rookie of the year, but TJ Watt
Jr.
versus
tight
an
like
old Von Miller.
Hey man, TJ Watt, man,
it's just not happening.
Hey, TJ Watt, man, he's a Watt. He's a little. Hey man, you need a Watt. When you got a Watt on your team, then you'll understand. $100 million Watt. So, I think it's still going to be a tough game. We still have offensive line issues. I think the bye week helped a little bit. Big was a little nicked up. I think it'll help with the receivers who were a little nicked up. So we'll see. I'll be ready to watch it. I know that, sir. So now we move on to our upset game. The Lion is going with the Cowboys, 5-1 at the Vikings, 3-2. He is going with your Vikings.
Listen, I'm going to say this 26. Now. Forget about the 2017 NFC Championship game. The Vikings could easily be 5-1 and could have and should have beat the number one team in the NFC, the Arizona Cardinals, for a Dalvin Cook fumble or a last-second missed field goal. We could be 5-1, but we're 3-3. Bad teams lose games, good teams win games. I think this is the perfect game for someone to bet on a home team that's an underdog. Dak Prescott could easily be the MVP, but I think I think it's just going to be a great offensive game. I think it could be over 60 points this game.
Dan, you're feeling me, bro. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. If the cat would have stopped, the dog would have caught him.
Well, that's true. That is true.
I don't know, man. The Cowboys are playing absolutely excellent. I think if it's a good time to knock them off, would be coming off the bye. You're not really sure how injured or how not Dak is walking out of the stadium after ending the game on a touchdown, walking out with a boot. So you have to look at that. Their defense is playing lights out. You got Riggs, who's got, more interceptions than games played. So I don't like to talk about the Cowboys. Please believe me, I am a Cowboy hater all day through and through. I'm not saying most teams I say I just don't like them. You know what I'm saying? With the Cowboys, I am a hater.
The minute we talk about Diggs and a highlight interception, he gives up a 40-yard touchdown the next play.
Hey, it happens.
turnovers are turnovers, but giving up touchdowns and the most receiving, you could lead the league in NFL history for most receiving yards in a season. That's also a glaring problem.
But see,
And when you have to go against Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, who's not playing like a schlump anymore, there is no more. If you give up yards on that, it's going to be a bad game for Diggs, I believe.
Well, I don't know. I don't have to call this one, so I will leave it at that. My upset game, I'm going Titans 5-2 at the Colts 3-4. I'm going with the Colts 27-21 on the road. I still think Derrick Henry's probably going to have 200 yards on the ground, but I think the Colts are going to find a way. I think they generate enough turnovers to pull this one out on the road. Plus, this is a division game. And the Colts have kind of historically had control over this division. So even though they have been losing, I still think they have that air about them that they can walk into any stadium in this division and win. And this is a big game for them if they want to get back into maybe the wild card race or even competing for this division. They have to win this game. It's a must-win game, so I'm going with the Colts 27-21.
We completely forgot about the most dominant player since I don't know when in Derrick Henry.
Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson is my favorite player of all time, but there is no comparison. This man might go.
If Adrian Peterson does not get hurt, there is no question that Adrian Peterson will be just ridiculous with the yards. I mean, he probably had 3 2,000-yard seasons in a row.
If Adrian Peterson came in the league when Derrick Henry came in, it'd be the same thing. But it's not.
Or if Adrian Peterson didn't smack the girl or spank his child like a disciplinary parent.
Listen, Kareem Hunt beat up a girl and is still playing in the league. Adrian Peterson disciplines his kid in his own house and he gets suspended from the season. It makes no sense. The league is out of control. Peyton Manning should be the commissioner. John Gruden's fired. Cancel culture should have been back way far back then.
I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? That's just crazy. You can get more time in jail for disciplining your child than a child molester does from touching his booty.
Marvin Harris murdered someone in front of his own bar.
Yes, he did. And you ain't heard shit. You ain't heard shit. But he was at the league. And nothing happened. He was at the league. He was gone. He was at the league then. But that's funny that you mentioned that because the wife and I talk about that often. Like, how do you shoot somebody in your bar and then nobody talks about it? Like,
well, everybody, the NFL says we're going to stop talking about people that are of hate, but they have O.J. Simpson, Hall of Fame all over the NFL. Or you got Ray Lewis who kills people.
Hey, listen, you can't take all O.J. out for an allegation.
Are we really going to go there?
We could go there. We could go there. I'm not saying that I agree. I'm just saying in the court of law.
Listen,
innocent.
Peyton Manning got allegations about touching his trainer.
He wasn't touching. He was dangling his wang in her face.
Listen, everybody's got to have a good time. Allegations are allegations, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You can't take him out. Sorry, I think they need to give Reggie Bush his Heisman back.
The Lion just yelled at us and said, "Fix your damn green screen."
Listen. Where is he at? Why is he not in here, man?
He can message me telling, "Fix your brother's green screen."
I don't know. I think the league is very hypocritical on their standards.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think John Gruden is definitely not the only one. First of all, let's talk about it. He's been in the league for how long since he was lacerator in 2001? So it's been 17 years or so since he last coached and won a Super Bowl. And you're telling me he was the only coach to write racial slurs or, all these things? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'll tell you, man, there's more to come. I know Congress is asking for those emails now. NFL is saying they're going to comply, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of those emails just disappeared. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like the spaceship at Area 51, it just somehow just disappeared, but we know it was there. But you know, I just think John Gruden was made an example of. You violated the, you know what I mean? I watched the Blacklist, you know, with Raymond Reddington. I think you violated the cartel's, you know, secret order. You know what I mean? You blabbed your mouth about something you weren't supposed to talk about.
You talked about Fight Club and you got kicked out.
And you got kicked out. You first rule of Fight Club is we don't talk about Fight Club. And hey, that's what I think happened to him. And yes, the NFL is completely double standard on a whole bunch of shit, but that'd be a show that probably take forever to do.
People's feelings would get hurt, and no one wants to have that conversation.
Yes, no one wants to have that conversation. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this out. Let's see what we got. Dan's money game is Bengals at Jets. Lions Cincinnati 9.5. 43.5 is the over/under. He's going Bengals. He's going Bengals. He's taking the straight spread. Bengals and the over. Me, I'm gonna take the same game. We picked the same game on this, and we're gonna go the same way. I'm gonna take the Bengals and the over. I just don't see the Jets having, especially Zach Wilson got hurt too. Yeah, it's a wrap, bro.
Unless Joe Flacco teleports back to 2014 and gets Jacoby Jones back. And they signed him this week. I don't see how the Jets score more than 20 points.
The only way that works is if Flacco comes back with Ray Lewis's defense.
Call Ed Reed. You better get calling. Ocho Cinco said he's looking for a job.
He said he's got the damn Jets, but you didn't put it that way. I'll look at it again, but I swear he said da-da-da-da-da, which meant da-da-da-da-da if the line was da-da-da-da-da. But anyway, I say he's going with the Jets. Apparently, he's going with the no quarterback Jets.
Damn Eagles fans talking about football, but they don't know how to run the ball.
Oh, well, he's messing. I said the goddamn Jets. Ooh. Such language from the Lion. I'm gonna let y'all see it. See that? See how he talks to people? See that? That's so rude.
Fighter friends, CBD products.
Go throw some snowballs at Santa Claus again.
All right, so there you have it for episode 23. Is this episode 23? Yes, episode 23. He's back. He's got more to talk about. He should have just logged in. He should have
just joined. Where are you at? He has something
it's off a movie. Yes, it is. You're fired, JC.
Listen, I'm calling Chip Kelly. He's coming back to the Eagles.
Damn it, JC, I just got you.
Wow. Hey, Dan might drive to Philadelphia. He might drive to Philly for that one. He might commit a crime for that one. It's hard to get him to say anything nice about Chip Kelly at UCLA.
Listen, if I was a part of the NFL, maybe I'd get away with it.
Yes, you could. All right, so we're going to have to cut this. It's been real, JC. Love having you on, man. You're welcome anytime you want to come over and chit-chat. Once you guys get used to seeing his face, you might see it a lot more. Just letting you know on the BW Sports Network. So, speaking for everybody, the Lion, JC, myself, this has been fun, but I got to go watch some basketball now. Love you. Thanks a lot, JC. Holler, my friend.
Thank you. Have a good one.